Okay, so I gotta do a follow up from yesterday. Um, I was pretty emotional, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't give too many details because I was emotional, and and I probably would have said stuff that I wouldn't shouldn't have said. Basically, but I had a lot of time. Um, I got a little bit more sleep last night. I think I got 3 hours instead of just two. Uh, but I'm in a much better place mentally, I think, today. Man, I'm going to be getting a new shirt soon for work, so I don't have to wear the same thing every day. I wear a different shirt underneath, I promise. I change every day. Um, so, here's what happened. Um, this wonderful person's been helping me with homeschooling my kids, and she is amazing. And um, the problem was that she's also very attractive. And I started to really fall for her. And it was scary for me because I didn't want to jump into a relationship. Um, I mean, I was happy to have a relationship, but I didn't want to do it for the wrong reasons. I didn't want to confuse loneliness with love. And so as things started progressing, like in the beginning we were best friends and it was awesome. And I could talk to her about anything, and I could talk to her about my feelings about Henry and missing her and all things. But as things started to get turned more romantic, um, it got a little more awkward. I couldn't talk about Anne Marie as much because I mean, I was still in love with Anne Marie. I am still in love with Henry. And not that I'm going to stop being in love, but just, I don't know. I can't be obsessed talking about my past wife while trying to develop a new relationship because it makes the new relationship feel like they're um, cheating with me. I mean, on my wife, you know? So, but I wasn't really mature. I wasn't really, not mature enough, but like able to. I could recognize that, but I wasn't quite in the position to be able to just have a good conversation without talking about my wife. And I think that's going to be a tough balance to try and figure out because it is a balance because she is a big part of my life and I have a lot of memories about her. Um, so I don't know. Anyway, um, I told her that I wanted to be first in line when when she was ready to start dating and when I was ready to start dating. And we both kind of liked that idea, I think. And so one day she told me that another guy had asked her out. And I started feeling more pressure to be like, no, I called Debs. I'm first in line. And so I wanted to ask her out. And the first time I asked her out, I asked her uh, to go to sushi with me. And immediately I regretted it because she had just gone to go eat sushi with this other guy who asked her out. And so I didn't want to do a copycat date. I didn't want to. I wanted to be, yeah. It was a bad idea. And so immediately I was like, okay, it was kind of a red flag, and I didn't want to see it. Um, but she said, first of all, I asked her out over text message, and she did not appreciate that. And so she said, no, you can't. She said, yes, no, call me. Like, I'm not going to say yes when you ask me out over text. You have to ask me out in person. And so I tried to call her that night, and she was busy, and she didn't answer her phone. And I tried texting to say, hey, when can I call you? And it just didn't work out. And so Yeah. Eventually, I did ask her out, and we went and we had a lot of fun. She was the first date that I was talking about the other day. Um, I bought these tickets to go see Christmas Carol in the beginning of November. And so, and I held on to him. I planned on going with her, but I held on to him for like 2 weeks before I got the guts to really ask her. And then, and then I had to wait until the actual date came along. And so it was it was a little frustrating because I was eager to go on the date, but I also kind of recognized that I wasn't really ready, and things started getting more serious with this other guy that she was dating, and so it started to get a little bit awkward because while I was evaluating myself and trying to move closer to her, she was kind of feeling that I wasn't ready, and she was moving closer towards this other guy, and so there were all kinds of signs that I should have noticed that I didn't want to see. And one day she stopped texting me. We'd been best friends, and that was one thing that was scary is I didn't want to lose my friend by trying to make this romantic. Because after, if I tried to make it into a dating relationship and then it didn't work out, it would have been much harder to go back to being friends. And but I didn't want to be okay. I'm too scared to lose you to really ask you out, and so I went for it. And so yeah, she called me in, or I went over to her work on Tuesday, and she said I need to talk to you, and we talked for like an hour, and she just basically laid out that she didn't think I was ready, and that she was ready to move on, and she'd found this other guy, and there's a lot of things that she liked about him, and there was a lot of things that made her uncomfortable with me. And I wanted to fight and be like, no, you don't want to be with that guy. You want to be with me. I'm a better guy anyway. And she was giving me reasons, and I wanted to nitpick every single one of those reasons, and finally I just had to recognize that she was right. I wasn't ready, and it was hard for me to recognize that. But the other hard thing was I wasn't just being dumped. I was losing a friend. And that's why I said uh, it's like losing Anne Marie all over again. Um, because we went from talking every single day and like just texting constantly. I mean, sometimes we send like 200 text messages in a single day. Like, I was talking to this girl a lot. And then all of a sudden, as she moved on towards this other guy, she stopped texting me as much. And yesterday, I think we got 2 or 3 text messages all day long. And yes, I went over to her house, but just it was awkward a little bit. And it was sad. Now, it doesn't have to be awkward. Um, and we're trying to figure out what that's going to look like. She still kind of wants to homeschool my kids, but at the same time kind of doesn't because it is awkward, but also because it's a lot of work. She's under a lot of stress, and having my kids there is extra stress. And I was blown away when she took that opportunity and was able to help me. And I feel like she came into my life at the perfect time. And she told me that she feels like I came into her life at the perfect time, but it wasn't meant to be forever. So it was kind of hard medicine to take, but I have to agree. Um, she's a big help, and I've got to move on. And so figuring out what to do with homeschool, I don't know. That's a big scary thing to me that I got to do over again, maybe. Um, I think she's giving me some time. My kids were able to go be homeschooled yesterday. They're going to go again tomorrow. Um, and we'll just see what happens. But I don't know. I do feel kind of a fresh start kind of feeling. Like, as I evaluated my day yesterday, it was kind of okay. It's okay that it hurts. It's okay that this is different. And I recognize that there was areas in my life that I was neglecting because I was so focused on her, and that wasn't healthy. There's areas of my life that I was neglecting before I met her. Like, I wasn't really showering every day, and anyway, I stepped up my personal hygiene game, um, and fixed my car up a little bit, and there's lots of good things that happen. But yeah, I needed to be spending more time doing some parenting and spending time with, especially with my little ones. I would sometimes go over to her house and be excited to go over at her house after work and be over there for a couple of hours before coming home. And I don't get a lot of time with my little ones. And I felt bad about that, but I didn't recognize that was another red flag. I kind of justified it saying, my kids need a mom, and so I'm going to have to spend some time finding someone, and they're going to have to wait for me, and they have their aunt in the meantime. And I think maybe there's some truth to that. There is, but, and I do feel, like I said yesterday, like it's, or Tuesday, I guess it was, like I need to start preparing myself to be dating. But it doesn't mean that I need to be dating right now. Just kind of, there are some walls, there are some blocks there, moving on from being widowed to dating again, that I was kind of blind to. I was ignoring, maybe seeing but not wanting to see, that my friend pointed out to me through this process and helped me see that there were things I could do to get past those blocks. And so I'm very grateful. It hurts. It hurts. So again, yeah, it's like I said, I'm thankful. Never said it would be easy, just said it would be worth it, right? So it's definitely worth it. And I don't know what's going to happen with this girl. Probably not very likely that we get back together. So I'm very sad about that. She's pretty into this new guy, and I hope it goes well. She's an amazing person, and she deserves it. She deserves to have an awesome marriage and an awesome life. And so I was hoping to be part of that, but that's not going to happen. I don't know. I'll keep myself available. I'll pay attention in case that comes up, but I don't see it happening. So we'll see. We'll see. In the meantime, I kind of want to go back to saying I felt a little bit through this process like I was pushing Anne-Marie away from my life a little bit. Not quite really, but because I was holding on at the same time. But just reevaluating my relationship with Anne-Marie, and what that is going to look like going forward. I spent some time doing that last night, and I felt like I want to go find some of her journals and read about what she was writing during our dating process, and read about what are the things that she wrote that I want to share with my kids, and spend some time talking to my kids about their memories of their mom, because right now that's fresh, and I need to get that out, and I'd love to do some videos about that. And so I got to find some time to do that, and I'm excited about that process. So overall, I think I'm in a much healthier place today than I was yesterday and than I was last week. And so I'm thankful for my friend who's able to point that out to me. and I'm just thankful. I feel very much led on a path, and like I've said before, I don't know where it's going, and every time that I think, oh, we're gonna go here, it's like, nope, this path just it's it's a process of preparing me for something, and I don't know what, but as I see myself grow, I'm thankful. That's what it means to trust in the Lord, because when the path turns and you don't want it to, you follow anyway, and it's better for you. All right. Thanks for watching. I'm doing pretty good this week with videos, and I want to keep trying to do a video every day, and grow this thing, and try and be helpful to people. If I'm helpful, write it in the comments, or tell me. If you have ideas for me, feel free to share. Thanks. Thank you so much. All right. Bye. Subscribe.